We're here at one of our freshwater ponds that we find in the northeastern part of the United States, and we're trying to find some living organisms. It might be too early, mid-April. Finding some beetles, water beetles. In the winter, they use these ponds to go into the mud where they are in a very, they are in a low state of hibernation. And I always tell students that they cuddle down in the mud where it'll keep them warm because amphibians are cold-blooded. So they have some enemies. The eggs will definitely get eaten by some of the animals, but less so because they're so temporary. So by the time the pond dries up in the summer, the frogs have already moved on possibly to another pond, and the salamanders have crawled off under the logs where they can stay moist. But there's water striders all along the surface. You can see them breaking the surface of the pond. They are so cautious. As soon as I put this out here, they're all gone. But again, that's what all of the leaves and all the branches that fall down in here are decomposing and making the muck, and that's what all of the insects are feeding on, and then all of the frogs and salamanders feed on. Well, golly. That's a shellfish. This I have never seen before. That is a new one. This is one thing I love about nature, is of the 40 years that I've done nature walks to ponds and oceans and woodlands, you always find something new. I have never, in all the years I've been to ponds, found a freshwater shellfish. They stopped. We think the peepers are either hearing or feeling or sensing us, because now it's quiet. Let's see if we can get them to peep again. So this is a fairly large pond, but what will happen in many of our wooded areas is wherever there's a depression or low area, it'll fill up with rainwater. It'll fill up with snow that's melted, and it becomes a vernal pond. So this is a freshwater pond, which may or may not last throughout the dry season. But the vernal ponds are very shallow, and they provide a unique critical habitat for our amphibians, our frogs, and our salamanders. What these ponds provide is a breeding area where they can lay their eggs and be in sort of a safe haven, because there are no fish. In a stream or in a bay or a sound or an ocean, anything that lays eggs is going to get eaten by other fish. So there's no way for fish to get here, and so they're fairly safe. So our spotted salamanders and our green frogs, our peepers, can safely lay their eggs here, and some species even have to come back to the pond. One of the problems with our vernal ponds is people say, well, that pond, it's not there all year, it dries up in the summer, so it can't be that important. And what's happening is the ponds are getting filled in. People buy a piece of property, they say, well, it was wet in the winter, but it's dry in the summer, so it can't be that important. So what happens is they decide to fill it in, and you've lost a habitat, and therefore a decrease in the species of either frogs or salamanders. Yes, we will have to come back. Maybe we'll find some tadpoles and some salamander nymphs next time.
Next time.